Okay, so I'm about to paint up a Retributor squad for Sisters of Battle, and as this is my last um, Sister of Battle squad for a while, I thought I'd do this video so the next time I come back to them, I can remember how I actually did the paint job. So, got 4 of the sisters sprayed up. Got a 5th one ready to be sprayed, but not just yet. And as you can see, they're all been spray painted with Wraithbone, and all have been put on corks and paper clips so that I can get all the way into the folds of their capes and everywhere. So step 1 will be contrast apothecary white, and because this doesn't mix so well, I actually put a mixing bowl inside of it. Now always make sure when I'm using anything bigger than a standard paint pot, I use one of the GW stands, and you may have noticed I always cut all my lids off. I find it helps just a little bit in keeping the paint away from the top of the container. Alright, so with apothecary white I do all the robes. So in this case I'll be doing the robe here in the back, all that robe there, the sleeve, and that one as well. Now I don't water the paint down or anything, I just give it a nice big lather. So I always start with the apothecary white, because after this the next step is to dry brush white, and you don't want to have any other colours on your model while you're dry brushing. Alright, next up is some flesh tone. So, going with Gilliman flesh, and just to add some variety to the models, Fire Slave flesh. Now this is quite an easy one to do because it is only faces. And I've got a helmeted one in there, so it's going to be even easier. So, apply to the faces. Watch out you don't get any other hair. If the skin recedes up into the hair, make sure you get into that area. But try not to get any on the undercoated hair. Alright, so with the face now dry, time to do the hair. And for that, every one of them has all the same hair colour. Rift Charger Grey. And I'm going to put a nice thick coating on. And once again, only 3 of these models actually have hair. It's not going to take me long to do. As you can see, I'm pretty much doing all the colours that aren't near the cloth. That way they shouldn't get covered in dry brush. And that's hair done. Now just got to wait for the cloth to dry a little bit more in some patches, and then a little bit of dry brushing. Alright, time to get those cloaks white. For that I use a dry brush Palexi white and a small flat dry brush. Alright, so what I'm trying to achieve here is a nice white on the raised edges. So just making sure the oil is properly braced. Getting the top edges, the white highlight. Alright, that'll do for now. Might look a bit haphazard and a little clunky, but once the armor coat goes on, it actually comes out very nice. Alright, now it's time to paint the armor. And for the armor, I'm using GW Achelian Green. And the brilliant thing about this is that even though it's a green, for some reason it comes out a blue, as you'll see in just a sec. I'm painting all parts of the armor now. Okay, so starting off at the bottom, got a brush in there, and I'm using a nice pointed brush. And putting on a nice layer of contrast. Okay, there's the armor painted. Don't forget on the weapon to do the armor, that's separating between the cloak and the glove. Get any on the glove that needs to be fixed up before you use the contrast color that goes on the glove. And don't forget the backpack as well. Okay, now I'll move on to the next one. Alright, time to start doing some other bits and pieces. Alright, so I'm going to do all the gloves now in Agaros Dunes. bottom and just go all over the glove, making sure that it meets up with the colour on the armour. Put on there quite liberally, because they're like, I'm thinking they're like semi-leather gloves. Obviously, don't forget to do the glove hand on the weapon. Alright, now might be time to move on to some metal. So I'm using lead belcher. With the lead belcher, I'm just going to pick out bits and pieces of the gun, normally around here with the handle, and then the cords as well. Whereas I'll leave the other part of the gun to be done in black Templar. And because it's a flamethrower, I'll probably do the front of it a few different colours as well. Alright, now I'm going to add some extra colour to the heavy weapons with some Castlex bronze. Just over some of the extra bits and pieces. Alright, heading back now to basically the weapons. Basilicanum Grey, which I'm going to use over the top of the lead belcher to give it some definition. So I've got the part here that's got lead belcher on it. And all I'm doing is painting straight over the top. Basilicanum Grey just gives a lot better definition over the lead belcher than using even null oil. So, not to say I don't use null oil anymore, I certainly do, but I don't know, just gives a little bit more metallic colour for some reason. Alright, and on the flamethrower ends here, there's no bolt gun metal, but I am going to paint Basilicanum Grey over that. Which is incidentally exactly the same way that I'm going to do the frag grenades as well. I just like the way that it darkens the white wraith bone, but then still allows it to show through. It's almost like a dark grey in some respects. I also like how it pulls inside the different sections of the flamethrower here. Alright, it's done. Now it's time to add the Black Templar contrast paint onto the weapons. Grabbing one of the weapons. Alright. Paint it all in this white part. Just all over. Avoiding the symbol, but it doesn't matter if you get some on it because you're going to be using a different colour on that. Then just proceed to put that on all the weapons. Don't forget to do the handles, especially the part that the hand is gripping. Okay, now it's time to put on hashnut copper. This I use predominantly for all the symbols and religious icons. Make sure it's shook up quite well to get the colour right. Brush. And alright, so do the symbol just in front of the face. Do the symbol on the leg. Do the round, I don't know the name for it, but some type of religious thing. If you get any on the armor, then just do a touch up. And then when it comes to the one on the tabard, just go over it very carefully. Just touching the top of the beads and the top of the icon. Again, if you make a mistake, Uther and Grey. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm making a few spot mistakes. I think it's the brush. Right, symbol on the shoulder. And wings on the other shoulder. Alright, colour's done. Repeat on all others. Any skulls that are on the weapons or anywhere gets done with contrast skeleton wool. Another colour that I like to use on weapons is Screaming Bell. Alright, now I'm going to do the crack grenades, which I do in contrast Dark Angel Green. Alright, time to put some colour onto the flamethrower tanks, and for that I use contrast Illidan Yellow. Make sure to shake it good, give the tank a good lacking. And because she's got a bolt of flamer combo, don't forget to do the one on there too. So for some lenses, like targeting eyepieces, I use Spirit Stone Red. Alright, that's all the basic colours done. So everything else after this is just play around.